So, yesterday, when I heard some parents talking about charter schools, I was all ears. One woman says, "I've heard charter schools are fantastic, but they're impossible to get into." And then another one says, "No way, don't you read the paper? They're all fronts for stealing government money." And then this dad chimes in, "Oh, come on, supposedly they have really high test scores, but they're insanely strict." Ugh, I needed to find out for myself. So, I went online, and was I ever surprised to learn just how different charter schools can be? Of the over 5,000 charter schools nationwide, some are extraordinarily high performing, but others are, well, the opposite. They can be everything from your child working at the computer at home to a big brick and mortar school where the kids wear uniforms, and some where they even go to school on Saturdays, and everything in between. Some charter schools are really small, founded by a group of parents, or a single educator with a special focus like music or science, or a philosophy like Montessori. Some of the most successful charter schools are called CMOs. These are single organizations with many charter schools bound by a single vision and a single mission. One thing I learned, charter schools are not one species. So what are they then? They are free public schools. Usually they're non-selective, but not always. When there's high demand, students are chosen by lottery. And they all have their own charter to operate independently outside the local school district. This gives each charter school more freedom to make decisions about how to spend money and serve students. In exchange, charter schools are supposed to be accountable. If they don't meet certain standards, they can have their charter revoked and shut down.
Curriculum that we have here, we get to go up to the mountain and do all this experiential education, and I love it.
Now that I'm older, I realize this, but I felt kind of just pushed through the system, whereas in the charter school there was actual concentration on how I'm perceiving the material, and do I get to understand what I'm learning, and how am I going to apply it in the future when I'm an adult.
Private school runs off their own funds and everything, and a public school will run off of the government funds. We are government funded, but we're basically a smaller organization that will find something that we want to do. So we focus on the arts, and we focus on small individual attention, and focus on quantum learning. So that would be our thing to be a Seabrook Charter High School, because you're a charter school, so you have your own vision for something.
We are funded through the per pupil funding through the public school system. We have our own individual governing boards rather than being governed through the district's governing board.
Being able to use our money, being able to buy the equipment or supplies that we need, and then set our calendar and our schedule.
Parents have a say in what their children can learn, the dress code, the policies here. I think the voice of the parent is what sets apart a charter school versus a neighborhood school.
We operate by the same set of rules that everyone in a public education system operate in. We are a public school. We are a public school of choice. And that's really the defining characteristic for us.
Parent involvement is crucial within the charter school system because we do not have all of the funding that a normal neighborhood district school has.
So they really have to depend on parents stepping up to help out with a variety of different things depending on what the school's focus is.
The final reason I chose charter school was I wanted to be an active participant, and I definitely found that here.
For the full education of the child, it's not just the teacher's responsibility, it's not just the school, it's the parents. The parents have to be involved.
I think it's important for new parents and parents who are looking into charter schools and not quite sure about them to know that it really is up to them. They are in charge of their child's education.
Research shows that families that are more involved in their children's education, the children tend to be more
This plus 2x.
To say students at Rauner College Prep High School on Chicago's West Side are beating the odds doesn't give them enough credit.
So we're done here.
They are exceeding even their own expectations.
3 hours of homework at night, it doesn't really bother me.
Rauner is one of 7 Noble charter schools in Chicago. The graduation rate is 95%. 85% of its graduates go on to college.
It's okay to be the smart one. It's okay to be the one committed to your community. They find here a culture where it's safe.
At the 2 public high schools in the same neighborhood, graduation rates are 50% and 67%, and fewer than 12% of those students meet even basic academic standards.
Is the solution to have all charter schools or to have public schools use the charter school model?
Yeah, and I think it is the latter. Do they have the freedom and accountability that charters do have?